4 fastest and cheapest Madden 20 Ultimate Team coins. Make sure you guys go check out my sponsor, EasyMut.com. Use code VENM at checkout for 5% off. Yo, what's on, everybody? It's Fire here, back on the video, and today I'm going to be bringing you guys my free Oakland Raiders offensive ebook. Now, most of you guys probably do know this, that on my channel I did upload this video already, but keep in mind that video was uploaded in early August, just a couple of weeks after the game was released, and so much has changed in not only Madden but in these formations, in these schemes, and I also recognize that if you're looking for tips around this point of the year, you really don't want to watch a video that was created in August. It's just not the move. You want to watch videos and schemes that are created at this point in the year, because a lot in the game has changed, multiple patches and things like that. Multiple metas have been found as well. Now, in this Raiders playbook, I'm just going to start with these running formations first. So if you're an expert at the run out of the formation, you want to find some dots. Skip to the latter half of the video and I will be going over formations such as Trey Y flex, this tight slots, halfback weak, bunch tight end, and trips. On the running formations, I will be going over our wing flex close, close slot, tight wing, strong close, strong H wing, strong tight, weak close flex. So we got a ton of formations. Let's go ahead, hop into it. We got wing flex close. I might also briefly go into this wing slot because that is a decent thing to mix in as well. I like to go these formations right with each other because they're so easy for me to audible with. All it takes is that these two guys just move out really quickly. I'll go over that, but basically I've already set my audibles out of this wing flex close. I got stretch, dive, forvert, and smash. And this wing slot, we got stretch and dive. I'm not really looking to pass out of this formation. There's absolutely no good passes, so we're just going to skip that. So let's go ahead, hop in this run formation really quickly. We're actually not in the best playbook. We're not in a 3-4 odd playbook. We'll try to do the best with what we have, though. Now, stretch, I'm actually going to respot the ball really quickly. But stretch, you're really just running to the numbers. Most of you guys know how to run stretch, but my favorite way of doing it is typically I like to flip the play, such as going to be running it to the receiver side rather than the tight end side. I've always found that this formation has better blocking when you run stretch to that receiver side. So obviously if this box is stacked, which it kind of is in our case right here, to that receiver side, then you can obviously run it to the tight end side, which I will go ahead and run it here. Probably should have just came out in random defenses, but I didn't want to go against quarters 3 deep. But stretch, you're either going to run it to the right or left. When I'm running it to tight end side, I like to motion our far receiver and motion snap him right in between those tight ends. You guys see we're going to get absolutely perfect blocking there and pick up a huge chunk of yardage. Melvin Gordon, unfortunately, doesn't have the afterburners to take that for 6, but you can't motion snap him like right past that right tight end because I'm spamming A. You have to wait for him to get set almost, and then you can sort of motion snap him. But I definitely like the motion. You can also do some sort of bluff with the motion. What I mean by that is I just flip the play. Let's say I'm running it to this side, and then I motion Williams over. That could throw off your opponent. He might already run to that side, and then you could just go ahead, hit him with a stretch left, catch him off guard. If you're going to be a runner in Madden 20, you've got to get used to flipping your play, flipping the run, doing some motion snap stuff, motioning receivers, motioning them back, trying to sort of move his defense around. As you guys see, players will shift when you motion them over, and even when you motion them back, players will also shift. Look at that. That cornerback just shifted all the way from right to left. That is a huge tip that you will see in multiple formations I go over, and I kind of want to go into that in depth. So again, I'm just going to go ahead, motion Mike Williams all over to this side of the field, and then I should have flipped my play right there, but actually it should be fine. Look at Trey White. He's going to shadow the receiver all the way over to that side. So now they have 2 receivers, and I'm pretty sure that might just be because it's a match coverage or a man coverage, but we just simply moved him out with 2 motions. This is so frustrating to go against when I'm playing defense, and it's literally, you can't do anything about it other than click on to the cornerback, but you have so many things going on in your defense that you might not even recognize that, and it's just so annoying. I'll show that once again, though. Just motion Mike Williams over. It might be a pain. I know that is a pain to do all this motion stuff. It's not the funnest thing in the world, but if you want to have the most effectiveness in running the football, this is definitely the way that I recommend you run the ball. You can even get a little motion snap. Unfortunately, our tight end number 2 just absolutely blocked nobody, so that's pretty cool, but that's pretty much it for that stretch. Dive. What I like to do is just motion this receiver in and snap him right about there. You can sort of cut this outside. That's the way that I like to run dive the best. You could obviously come out if he's spreading his entire defense and just come out, run it sort of stock. Unfortunately, a block shed there, but dive. You want to get them in stretch D. I recommend running the stretch first out of the formation and then moving into the halfback dive once you get him into using the outside. And you can just take your 4 yards of carry. Dive doesn't have the big play potential that stretch does, but occasionally you're going to pop off a run that will pick you up a ton of yardage. Now, into the pass plays, we got this 4 verticals, and the reason this is good is simply just because of this seam route with Keenan Allen and this wheel with Mike Williams. We also got a wheel with Virgil Green. The setup I like to run is I like to actually block Y, and then I'm just going to delay fade A and put RB on a drag. You could also put him on a curl. You could put him on an in route or a smart routed in route, something like this. It's all I can do, but the drag is my favorite just because you have a high-low between the wheel and this player. If none of them are open, you could look to B potentially up the seam. You want a fast guy here. Keenan Allen's super slow, so it's not really going to be burning anybody, but obviously late in the play, you could go ahead and just pick up Hunter Henry on that delay fade. So I'm going to go ahead, ID that guy. You guys see match coverage is obviously going to bag this, so unfortunate that we're going against cover 4, but I'm actually going to switch up the defenses really quickly here, and then we will just go ahead and get into those other plays. I know I'm spending a lot of time on this formation, but a lot of the formations later in the video will be similar, and this one is sort of a different type of a scheme. So again, this 4 verticals, I'm smart routing B, I'm blocking Y, A on a delay fade, and RB on a drag. This is my go-to setup. This X route should do super good against cover 2 because it can get against those cloud flats very well, and you also have that clear out sort of with the seam route, but very basic setup. And don't really expect to pass out of this formation. You're only passing maybe to catch him in a run defense, something like that. And yeah, delay fades are going to be super useful out of running formations. All runners use them. It's a barber dot, as we call it, but that's going to take us to our next play, smash. Smash, what I like to do is just streak X. You can block or reset that. Streak X, block Y. And this is the most basic setup you can do. You have RB on this drag, B on a corner. Phillip Rivers has the weird pass lead chem, so his pass leads are going to be pretty annoying, but it is what it is. I believe he does. Yeah, pocket lead. It's the worst chemistry of all time. Never use it. But basically, RB on a drag, X on a streak. You should be able to find someone open against man coverage, against pretty much every coverage. You guys see, there's that pocket lead, putting in work for you with the overthrow. So you guys will see that probably a lot in the video, but it is what it is. I don't really run smash too much. Obviously, if you're going to pass, we have some other pass formations, but yeah, just take what the defense gives you, and you really want to pass once you see them, maybe in an edge blitz, Stormbrave 1 setup. You know you can beat the man coverage. And yeah, so that's going to take us to our next formation, the single back wing slot. As I said, it's super easy to audible between these formations. Watch how fast it is. Boom. Literally 1, 2, maybe 3 seconds to audible, and it is so much different than the other play. Now, I accidentally just came out in the wrong play right there, but this stretch alert bubble, you have a way higher chance of getting to the right there just because the corner a lot of times will shadow that receiver, and he will sort of move over to that left side. You guys see, again, perfect blocks. You could also go ahead, throw that bubble screen. But yeah, wing slot, I don't really go to it too much. You could obviously audible between it, but that could be for another time. Once again, simply audibling to a dive, maybe just to throw him off. Or I could catch him in the RPO situation like this. You guys see Keenan Allen. So there's a lot you could do with those 2 formations. Really mix it up, but those are pretty much my only single back formations. Let's go ahead. move into the I form, the most annoying formation by far in the ebook. I'm going to go over just 3 run plays. I'm not going to go over any pass plays in I form. You can obviously route combo your way to victory, but there's some decent plays, but I'm just not going to go over them. This is a run-heavy formation. I'm not going to go over any pass plays. Now we got Power O, Dive, and Stretch. I'm going to start out with this Power Up because this Power O is going to be super underrated. Now the Power O, the way that you're going to run it is just flicking your left stick to that right, and you're just going to have so much space. Look at how much space I had. I got the auto hurdle, but you could tell there's a ton of space. The box was even favored to the right side there, but you're just going to flick that run, and you just tend to have so much space. I'm not sure what it is about the run, what it is about the formation, but this is usually the only formation I have success with the Power O. But look at that. I'm super close to taking this to the crib every play. You guys can see the holes, and you can obviously run it to this right side there. You guys see we are able to get to the second level. Yeah, this blocking is crazy in this play. Just flick it to the left. You could run it to the strong side like I was saying, but typically it's better to run it flipped. People are setting up defense to that side. They might bring their safety down the right to defend against your stretch run, and boom, you just flip it. You have numbers to that side. Simply just run to the outside and absolutely pick up a huge chunk of yardage like that. So Power O, you could run it to this side, but I just don't seem to have as much success as running it to the left. Right there, that was just them being in a terrible defense. Next play is Dive. You guys know about Dive. You want to run Dive when they're in stretch D, when they're in a terrible defense against this stretch run, and you really just want to go ahead, pound it up the gut for your 4 or 5 yards, running in short yardage situations where you don't want your running back to get tired. There you guys see, easily able to just cut through that hole, pick up a pretty good gain of yardage right there, as they're in quarters 3 deep for some reason. Big tip when running the ball with a right-handed quarterback. Typically, most QBs are right-handed. The only ones that aren't are Young and Vic, but make sure that you run your dive to the right side. So I'm going to run to the left here. Look how slow it is. Boom. Takes them a pretty long time to hand it off. You might not be able to tell, but when people are setting up run Ds, they have people screaming off the edges. You're going to want to hand off this ball quick, and that is a reason why people don't like using left-handed QBs. If they are runners, that's why you see most of them go with pocket QBs, or even like Russell Wilsons of the world. Now you watch how fast that takes me to hand it off to the right side here. Boom. It's just so much faster. It's crazy, and you're just gonna have way more success doing that. That's only for halfback dives. It doesn't work for stretch, Power O. The only run animation that it works with is going to be dive, where he gets that faster animation to his strong side. If you are using lefty QB, run all your runs to the left. It's just going to take a little bit to get used to. Last play, out of the formation, stretch. You guys all know about stretch, out of I form close. Look at these blocks. You can pretty much tell that it is completely overpowered and that it's going to be very difficult to stop. A lot of people like to come out in I form close and simply audible. You could audible to weak flex close, strong close, I form close slot. This is just a ton of options. And again, stretch, you could do some motion. You can't actually motion this guy, but you can sort of do this like motion block that seems to get up the field a little bit better. You could obviously go ahead, flip your run, and then motion the outside receiver, but motion sort of give away what you're running, especially out of formations that are symmetrical, such as the I form close. So keep that in mind. I accidentally ran the Power O right there, but one last time, simple, just stretch. I could flip it, motion. You could just flip it and snap it, because obviously Trey White is going to go ahead shadow. But look at these blocks, boom. One cut up the field and you're gone for about 15 yards. Super simple and very effective as well. With that, let's hop into this I form close slot. Now, I form close slot, we have our stretch and we have this blast that actually works pretty well. Now, unfortunately, there's no dive, but this stretch is going to be super difficult to stop. This is probably my favorite stretch in the entire offense, to be honest with you. It's just super glitchy, and it's just, I have so much success running it. It's insane. Now, my favorite way to run it is just simply flip it, run it to the left. You have your receivers, you have your fullback. Look at these blocks. you're just simply easily going to be able to eat. He's going to have to flip his play, get his players to that side. If he moves his players to the left, all it takes is one motion and a snap of the ball, and you're easily able to go ahead, get out to that right side. That was some bad stick work by me, but it's going to be super. Your opponent's basically going to have to make his defensive formation symmetrical. Otherwise, you could obviously flip, snap the ball to the left. If he's running it to the right side, then you could or the left side, then you could just go ahead, run it stock, maybe with a motion, or you just snap it like this and hope that your fullback picks up that corner. One juke inside, one spin, and you're off to the races. So great formation. There also is this Halfback Blast. Now Blast, it's not my favorite because of how slow it is, but out of this specific formation, the inside zone / blast, it's the same run. It just seems to pick up a lot of yardage. I'm not sure. I've actually gone against this online. I've struggled, but you guys see the blocks tend to be pretty good. We seem to be having an opportunity to pick up a lot of yardage, just some block sheds. But look at that. I even ran to my offensive lineman for 3 seconds and was able to get to the outside. It's a pretty good run. Obviously, the stretch is the run that we want to dominate with. You guys see these blocks are just second to none in the game. And this is, like I said, my favorite stretch out of the formation. I really wish that there was a dive that would make this formation a lot more usable, but again, you could run it to the right, run some motion snap type of offense. That was some bad stick work again. I should have cut that up, but you guys pretty much get the gist. That's going to be it for I-form close slot. Now, we also have this I-form H slot. I'm not going to go over it because it's basically the same as wing slot. You got stretch, you got dive, and I don't think this formation is that usable in the Raiders playbook because of how many other good formations there is to run the football with. Now, that's going to take us to our next formation, probably the most overpowered or close to the next overpowered formation. It's going to be I-form tight, everybody's favorite formation to go against. You got stretch, power O, and dive. Once again, I'm going to come out and stretch, and let's set up our D. Now stretch, my favorite way to run stretch is going to be come out, flip the play, and motion Keenan Allen all the way over to the left side. You're going to have your fullback, you're going to have a tight end, you're going to have a receiver. You can go ahead and motion snap him right there, and you're going to be off to the races. All you need to learn is this one run, and you will become a top 20% in Madden. I know because I can't stop this run to save my life. Simply just flip the play, motion that receiver over, and we have touchdowns. Unfortunately, we're going against one of the best run defenses in the game, and as they come out in quarters 3 deep, we're not going to go against that. But yeah, you guys can tell these sheds are pretty crazy on all Madden, but these little motions, like I said, they sort of throw off the defense, and it's going to be annoying for your opponent to go against. You guys see I'm just running into linemen. This play is literally a walking 10 yards. If they overplay that side, you go ahead, motion Allen, and then motion snap him right there. That is a great way to get the outside. Somehow, Adrian Phillips just blew up our life. But again, just motion Allen in if you're running it to the right, and look at that space to the outside. That is just a walking crib shot and just a walking 20-yard gain. Maybe just jukebox outside. Now, against the CPU, they're going to have a lot more block sheds. They're going to have a lot more players just running to the outside. But in modes like Mud, all you have to do is get to the outside. It's going to be very difficult for your opponent to bring you down. Once again, I like flipping it, motioning Keenan Allen. Who knows why the CPU calls quarters 3 deep so much when I'm in a zone defense. They literally have 10 other defensive formations. But you guys see this motion is my favorite. If you want to confuse your opponent, a way you could do that is just keep it to the right and then still motion Allen over. That's going to move the cornerback over if it is a man coverage formation, and a lot of people do like to run man against the run, Storm Brave 1, Edge Blitz 1. If they are in man, I like motioning that receiver and still keeping it to the right. And that's going to take us to our next run, Power O. Power O is sort of the same out of I-form close. What I like to do again is going to be motioning. We have numbers to that side, and Power O gets probably the best blocking in the game. You're going to be able to pick up a ton of yardage running this play, and simply enough, just pick up great yardage. You again just come out, snap the ball, flip it, and you should have great success. I'm not going to go over that too much because we still do have a lot of formations to go into. Halfback dive, again, you can sort of throw them off. You want to bluff running stretch when you're running dive. You want to make it look like stretch and just come out, run dive. Dive, you're not, like I said earlier, you're not expecting to take it to the house. You're expecting to pick up your 5 yards, and you will be happy with that running halfback dive, especially when people start run committing. They start stacking the box out of I form. You will take these little 5, 6 yard gains every play. Now, going to come out in the next formation, I form wing. Now, I form wing. Again, it's another stretch, dive type of a formation. We also do this power out alert X looky. Unfortunately, we can't flip the power out, which is kind of annoying. We also can't flip the stretch out of this formation, but it is what it is. A lot of this running game, this running meta, is really just finding a formation that your opponent struggles with. And what I mean by that, as our tight end gets shedded by a corner, is if your opponent stops I form tight really well, boom, you can switch to I form wing. If he stops that really well, you can switch to wing flex. If he stops that really well, you can switch to strong close. If he stops that, you can switch to weak close. You can switch to strong tight. There's so many formations that eventually, by maybe the second quarter, late first quarter, you should find a run that he struggles with, and you can just pound him with that. I know that's definitely not the most fun way to play this game, but that is the most effective way to play this game 100%. And it's just going to be flip your run, or just find a run that he struggles against. You've seen the pro players do it in every competitive tournament. They find a stretch that he can't stop, they find a dive that he can't stop, and they continue to run it the rest of the game. And it is really smart as well. It's unfortunate that the meta is this, but that's really what it has come down to. Now, when I'm running this I form wing, what I like to do is either snap it stock, or you can motion this player out. It just seems to open up that hole a little bit more. As you see, we're kind of able to take that to the crib. And again, you have dive. When I'm running dive out of I form wing, I motion this player over. That could be a tell, but you could also run that with the stretch. But that's the way I like to run dive. Make it symmetrical. Don't give one side, because if you run it like this, the outside linebacker has the chance to come off the edge. So if you want to make this look like dive, you could go ahead and motion this player over and still run stretch. It's not going to be as effective as you keeping him over there, but you guys see we're still able to go ahead and pick up a huge chunk of yardage running it that way. So again, just simple concepts. I'll show that dive one more time. You're just going to motion this player over, and you want to motion snap him right about there. You guys see, if I didn't motion him over there, there's no chance I'm cutting to the left there, and it just opens up a lot more opportunities in the run game. Now, let's head to the next formation. It's going to be our strong close. Now, strong close is probably the best passing formation, one of the best passing formations in this playbook. I'm just going to go over a couple of my favorite plays, and that's going to be dive, outside zone, wide receiver out, and PA deep cross. Sorry, I'm sort of going through these quickly. We have a ton of formations to go through, and I'm not trying to make this ebook 2 parts. So let's start out. We got dive. You guys know about dive. I'm not really doing any motions out of strong close. I'm not sure about you. A motion that you could go ahead and do is just motion this player over. If you wanted to do a motion, then I like to motion snap him sort of there. It just seems to open up the left. Mike Williams missed his block assignment right there, but if you want to get to that side, you can just do that. Otherwise, I like sort of just running it up the gut here. As good as it is passing the football, players don't really like to come out in their edge blitz 1, or their 3-4 odd run Ds, whatever formation they're running, just because they know that there's coverage beaters, there's a ton of stuff out of the formation. I did upload a couple videos on this. If you want to go ahead, check that out. Just look up like VENM Fire Strong Close. You should be able to find a couple of vids on that. So that's dive. We got this outside zone that's basically like a stretch. It's actually one of my favorite plays. I uploaded a running scheme with this dive, stretch, and zone week. It has Raheem Mostert in the thumbnail. You go check that out after the video if you want, or if you've already checked it out, you know about these runs already and how overpowered they are. Basically, if they're just stacking the box, you run off tackle. If they are spreading out their defense, you run dive. And obviously you mix in the pass a ton out of this formation as well. This can be a whole scheme as itself. So that's pretty much it for our runs. We got wide receiver out as our first pass play. Basic route combo I'm going to do is just put X on a hitch, RB on a wheel, and just go ahead and snap the ball. This hitch route's going to pull down all clad flats. It's going to open up this post route against dang near every coverage. If he goes ahead, uses that, you could obviously playmaker this hitch inside, or you have another high-low with this wheel to curl combination. Now, I don't typically love to throw out of these formations just because the block sheds seem to be a little bit better passing under center. I'm way more comfortable out of a gun bunch, or any gun. I'm not sure why I said bunch, but this route combo will definitely dominate for you. He's actually getting picked up right there, so you can just go ahead, drop the hitch. If he does use the post, you have the curl or a hitch that you could hit. Typically, that post route does get open. I'm actually not sure why it's getting completely covered right there, but you guys see we got bagged again. This match coverage really does bag everything. I'm so bad against match coverage, but if they're running man or match coverage, if they blitz you, send 7, you'd snap, throw the hitch. As I absolutely just got lurked. For some reason, Jerry Hughes was in a vertical hook. But yeah, this is the route combo. Unfortunately, for some reason right now, I can't get Hunter Henry open. Here he's going to get wide open. You guys see as he drops the ball. But really against cover 2, that's the defense that it kills. Cover 3, it works against 100% as well. Not even sure what coverage the CPU is running right now. But one last time here. We got our hitch. He's going to get pulled in. This was cover 2, 1000%, and it has instant success. Last play, we got PA cross. What I like to do is A on a delay fade. I'm going to go ahead motion Watt over here. Typically, I'm going to come out in the dual halfback package. Make sure you do that, or you just sub your running back at fullback, because this fullback's not going to really want to be on the field. We don't want him on the field. This is the route combo I run. RB on a streak, B on a slant, A on a delay fade. You could also run some of your runs with motion that guy out. You don't want to give him the idea that you're passing the football every time that you do motion that guy out. You want to mix in some runs with motioning the fullback over. Although he might not be necessarily doing anything, it would be in your best interest for the formation. One last time though, just motion RB over to this tight end side. Put him on a streak. We have A on delay fade, B on a slant, high-low between B and X, or we have sort of 2 crossing patterns. And this crosser is going to be open against a lot of coverages, especially with the clear out. Overall, just great play right there. Now, I'm going to fly through these strong formations pretty quickly here, or these strong tight, strong wing, because we already went over the I tight and I wing. It's basically the same exact thing. We got dive, stretch, power O. You know the deal. We got this strong H wing. We got halfback dive, and then we have stretch alert X looky. Basically the same exact things. Let's just come out and stretch. Now the only downside to the strong stretch is that you can't flip it. You can't flip it, or actually you could flip it, but this fullback doesn't block very well. You sort of run into him, and it's just not successful in my opinion. Now you could go ahead and motion him over, but because the fullback is not aligned directly, it's not too good. The way I like to run out of these strong formations is just going to be motion Allen in, or your receiver in, and then motion snap him like I just did right there. Kind of the same case as in I form, just motion him in, snap it. Fullback seems to be out there as he whiffed his block, and same with Keenan Allen. But stretch, we know about that. Dive again. And if you're struggling, let's say you're struggling I tight, you could try out strong tight. Maybe he struggles against that. Maybe his defense doesn't work against strong tight. It's really just trying out different formations, and because of how many run formations are in the playbook, you really could just go ahead and do that. You could call it a different run formation on every play and have success in this game. But you guys know the dive is a little bit better for me out of strong than it is I form, so it is a stronger formation in my opinion to run this. But the stretch, just stock, seems to be a little bit better than I form as well. But you guys pretty much get the gist out of these formations. We got strong H wing here. I'm just gonna audible straight to it, just show you guys a couple of times. We got dive here. You can go ahead, still motion that player over like I was doing earlier, and this dive is going to be a little bit better than I form, but you guys pretty much get the gist. Stretch dive, motion flip, all that jazz. I'll show the stretch, and then we will hop into our passing formations, which is really what I wanted to show you guys. This strong H wing stretch is going to be very good. I actually like the strong H wing a lot, and I like it way better than the I form wing, so you could go ahead and run this more. But let's go ahead, hop into some pass formations now. I'm not going to go over as much as I would because I didn't expect this part to take so much time. I have tons of videos on Trey White flex and all these formations that you could go ahead and look up. Here are my audibles for the formation. We have the only plays I'm going to go over are dagger and read option because I don't have that much time. So what I'm going to do is just put RB on a block, A on a streak. You just go ahead and snap the ball. This is the first setup, very basic. Opening up the crosser to in route. You choose one. Rivers underthrew he underthrew the football. But you could also run it stock. Stock, it's very good. You have a drag. Drag's not covered. I'll take my drag. Drag is covered. I will take my crosser. Crosser's covered. I'll take my in route. Now, what I like to do out of this is just motion Allen over, so he's a better clear out for my crossing route. That's just the way that I like to do it, and you guys will see as I'm just getting shedded to death here. Pocket QBs are dreadful in this game. But let's just get a chop block here. Like I said, A on the drag, motion Allen over here, and you should be able to get this crosser open against a good amount of coverages. There we get the chop block, so I'm actually going to be able to roll out here. And now mid-reads actually play crossers well, but literally nobody uses a mid-reads online. That's a secret tip for you guys. Only the CPU because they run stock cover 2, but dagger, just stock. It's a great play. I have one play touchdowns out of this. I have money setups. Just look up dagger, VENM fire. You will find tons of stuff. 2 great videos on that as well. Now, other play is read option. Read option. If you have a pocket QB, you can just run regular inside zone, but the reason I like read option a little bit more is just look at that outside DN. He's just going to sit there. Now, if I'm running inside zone, he's going to completely rush. Now, I know that's a slight difference, almost unnecessary difference, but it is still useful in my opinion, and it still does make a little bit of a difference. Not enough to necessarily choose one play or the other, but it's definitely better in my opinion. I've always run read options when they're in my playbooks, simply just because of that reasoning. But yeah, let's go ahead, hop into the next formation. I'm actually going to skip this tight slots halfback week because the only good pass plays are going to be needing this hot route master ability out of this formation. People like it for the pass protection. It is great in pass protection, but these stock plays are dreadful, and you can't really do anything unless you have route apprentice, which we don't in our case, so I'm not going to be able to showcase that good of setups. Gun bunch, we have bunch trail, not very good gun bunch. If you're in Raiders, you don't really want to run gun bunch. Now, I will go over this bunch tight end because I do think bunch tight end is a underrated formation. I want to go over that. Here are my audibles: X spot, inside zone, inside switch, and PA boot over. We also have this off tackle, but bunch tight end is one of the most underrated formations every year. Let's start out with this X spot. I'm just going to block RB, streak B, smart out Y. Now I'm going to double team this outside guy. We have a high-low, Y, and X. X is wide open. I'm just going to go ahead, take it, and rack that up the field. X is on a very good flat route. He's from the slot. He is a receiver, so he's going to get there way faster than any other player would. This A route is going to be very good, especially when your opponent goes to user the corner route, as Trey White zoned out, goes on crack there. But it's pretty difficult to throw these corner routes without rolling out, I'll be honest. You guys see, just make a read Y or X. Y is open. If he uses Y, you could either hit A or X. And if you don't like this route that A's on, you could just put him on an in route and smart out that like this. Simple setup, but very successful. You could do the swerve catch to get him upfield and pick up a pretty good gain of yardage. Good play out of the bunch tight end. Now, we got inside zone. I'm not going to go over inside zone. You guys know how to run inside zone. If you're running the ball out of bunch or bunch tight end out of Raiders playbook, I'm not sure what your problem is, but please stop doing that for your own sake. We got inside switch. Inside switch is a very underrated play. What I like to do is just put RB on a wheel, and then I like just put. Actually, you could just go ahead and run this max protect. I want to show some max protect setups. Just gonna put Y on a streak and X on a slant. You could just put A on a delay fade for good measure, and just motion Williams over. You could put X on a streak and Y on a slant if you want. It really doesn't make any difference whatsoever. B, he's wide open. We're gonna go ahead and take that, as I should have lowballed. That was my fault. Keenan Allen is just so slow on these routes. Holy crap. But I'm just going to put X on streak, Y on a slant this time. Block RB, A on a delay fade. This is a good max protect setup. Basically like sort of PAY shot, sort of like at sail. You could roll out, throw that across the body. He's wide open. In this post route, it will get open against a lot of coverages if not usered. If it is usered, you could just roll out and hit this playmaker slant. I'll try to show that here if we get the right defense, as I messed up. I was in the wrong play right there. Alright, we're good to go. Let's go ahead, double team this guy, and we'll see if we can playmaker him up the field. Like this, you playmaker him now, because that's sort of match coverage. It's not going to get open, but against cover 2, that will absolutely kill it, and that will pick up a great gain of yardage. Last play, PA boot over. This is great for the crosser. There's a one-play TD that I might upload in this formation. It's that deep post. He does get open against a variation of coverages. It's my delay phase and release, but the crosser, very good. You also have this drag. You have this delay fade. What I like to do is just pretty good max protect setup. It's going to be B on a drag, X on a streak. You can motion him over. You could also just run that vice versa, X on a drag and B on a streak, but I like my outside guy on a drag a little bit more because it makes the user think. Again, these mid reads just bag the crossers. I am telling you, these mid reads will bag the life out of your crossing routes. I'm not sure what it is about them, but if you don't want to max protect, you just streak A, something like that. And Y is wide open, swerve catch, and get in bounds right there. Now we're going to hop into the last formation out of the offense. It's going to be the gun trips tight end. I'm just going to show a couple of baby dots out of this formation. When I set my audibles, this is what I like to run. PA shot post, verticals, inside zone, doubles in sail. We also got drive post, PA counter ghost, X spot, some other great passes out of it. I want to show verticals because that is a great pass play to go to when you struggle to throw. Just put RB on a wheel. You have A or RB. One of them is always going to be open. That's Hunter Henry on 90 overall plus Tre'Davious White. Just absolutely burning him. This corner out is lethal, and the good thing is that it never stops running. So you can run on the short side, and you can just roll out all the way and then throw it, and it's just going to be open against a lot of coverages. The wheel route does do a good job of pulling down a lot of zones and opening up Hunter Henry. You could go ahead and actually smart out him if you want a little bit deeper, but I kind of prefer to keep him on that shorter wheel route. You guys see that was against zoned out Trey White, and I'm still able to throw that over the top with the pocket lead. But you can go ahead, run some little, you could do a little low ball pass lead inside with that wheel route. You could obviously snap throw to Y if he's open. Unfortunately, he's not open here. But against cover 3, he will be open. Against a lot of spread out Ds, he could be open as well. And yeah, that's pretty much it for the video. I hope you guys did enjoy. Make sure you leave a like on the video if you enjoyed. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel as well for some more Fire Madden 20 content in the future. Make sure you guys follow me on Twitter. Link will be in the description. I tweet every time that I do upload and try to keep you guys updated on my channel there. And yeah, peace. I'm out of here.